Yeah, I can hear you in first language. Yeah, yeah. Now 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Check. Hey. 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 Check. 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 1 2. Hey. Hey.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for making time to join our event on this very busy day for food, agriculture and water. I'm Julie Teng. I'm the Global Program Coordinator for the Scaling Up Climate Ambition and Land Use in Agriculture in land use and agriculture for NDCs and NAPS, which is a joint project by UNDP and FAO funded by the German government. And this event is happening on this key day, which is around the issues of food, water, agriculture, and it's really clear today that we can't reach our climate targets if we do not address those sectors. There was, at the beginning of this COP, the launch of the Food Declaration. There was also a call for action to non-state actors. So we believe this event is really relevant in that respect because it's about strengthening that public-private collaboration and seeing how to scale up investments and how to scale up action in those very key sectors. So today we'll have the chance of listening to a varied group of speakers and panelists, starting with Ms. Nina Alsen from the German Federal Ministry of Environment, Nuclear Safety and Consumer Protection, followed by some keynote remarks by Pasang Norbu Lama from Charity in Nepal, representing indigenous people. And then we'll have a small panel discussion with representative of the private sector, with also the distinguished Director General from Ministry of Environment in Somalia, and if some of other speakers actually managed to come to this event. So without further ado, I'll give the floor to Ms. Alsen.
Thank you very much, Julie. Good morning and good afternoon, dear panelists. And the audience, I understand a few are also online. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm very happy to give a few brief opening remarks on behalf of Germany's Federal Ministry for the Environment at this side event. My name is Nina Alsen, and this event, as you may know, is organized by the SCALA program, which is funded by the German government through its International Climate Initiative. It's also well known as ICI, to some of you maybe. And importantly, it is implemented jointly by FAO and UNDP. I wanted to underline that Germany is committed to continue its successful engagement in the context of the International Climate Initiative, ICI. And since just a few numbers to illustrate, since 2008, ICI has supported over 950 climate and biodiversity projects in over 150 developing and emerging countries with a total of almost 6 billion euro. And the next ICI thematic call, the call for 2023, has been launched, I think, if I remember correctly, on Monday. So whoever is interested is invited to make a bid and to submit a project proposal. Let me come to the SCALA program, which we're talking about right now today. It is working together, just to give you a little bit of a background, it's working together with 16 countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. It provides support in planning and implementing climate-smart and resilient agriculture and land use measures to assist these 16 countries in meeting their national adaptation plans, the NAPs, and their national determined contributions, NDCs. Everybody's aware of these abbreviations, I think. Nearly every new or updated NDC prioritizes adaptation or mitigation, agriculture and land use, which is especially important as the sector represents 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions. We know that it has strong implications on livelihoods, on food security, and on nutrition, among other things, if the negative impacts of climate change in agriculture and land use are not addressed. This is particularly true, of course, in locations with poverty or that are poor and where there is a high level of climate-sensitive livelihoods, like, for example, for smallhold farmers, pastoralists, or fishing communities. We know that we need to generate a better understanding of the drivers and processes that are critical for unlocking and triggering transformative change and for scaling up successful practices. I mean, that's what we're talking about here at COP, I think, a lot. And what is important is that we're stimulating collaboration and partnerships among multiple stakeholders. That's also something we've heard increasingly or recurrently over the last days, of course. I wanted to highlight the role of the private sector because currently private finance flows into the agriculture, forestry and land use sectors are by far too low. And there's a strong need to mobilize more private funds to tackle the challenges as well as to seize the opportunities that the sector presents. The Scala program is one of our flagship projects in terms of volume, but also in terms of approach. And one of its core objectives is to catalyze the private sector in delivering climate solutions aligned with NDCs and NAPs of the countries that we're working with across the agriculture, forestry, and land use sectors. And of course, the ultimate aim is to support a transformative change through this project and through the interlinkages between these different countries. And this is achieved by a number of sub-points, so to say, which is by facilitating multi-stakeholder engagement and collaboration between the public and the private sector, by strengthening also very importantly the evidence base to build the business case for private sector engagement and climate action so that it can get some traction, by addressing barriers and catalyzing private investment through public de-risking instruments, and by enhancing the enabling environment for private sector engagement, including regulatory measures which promote and secure the rights and representatives of vulnerable groups. For today's session, I'm looking forward to an interesting and insightful discussion with representatives from the public and the private sector, as well as from civil society, on their experiences, as well as the challenges, of course, and the opportunities they see. And I would like to thank, in closing, UNDP and FAO for the excellent collaboration in the context of this Scala program. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Nina. And to continue on this discussion, we wanted to start with a message to show how important inclusivity is around here, and we wanted to start with having some voices from colleagues in Nepal that are doing a lot of work at community level to understand the challenges they're facing, but also the action that they're taking, and that we should try and integrate more into also like national government action. So please, Mr. Pasang Norbulama, who's representing the Tergar charity from Nepal, and they're winners of the Equator Prize, which is a UNDP coordinated prize that recognizes the value of local action and of local communities in particular. Thank you. And he will be accompanied by Ms. Margot Clavier, who will help interpret. Thank you.
Hello, namaste everyone. I'm going to be speaking in Nepali, so it will be much easier for me. मेरो नाम पासाङ नुर्बु लामा हो. म चाहिँ तेगा च्यारिटीमा काम गर्छु, जुन चाहिँ प्रोग्राम म्यानेजिङको रूपमा. र यो म तपाईहरुले केही कुराहरु हाम्रो काम गर्ने तरिकाहरु केही समस्याहरुको जानकारी म तपाईहरुले दिन चाहन्छु, जुन चाहिँ हामीले काम गर्दाखेरि फेस गर्ने कुराहरु. हामीले चाहिँ जुन हामी दुर्गम ठाउँमा नेपालमा काम गर्दाखेरि सो पहिलो कुरा भनेको हामीले चाहिँ मौसमको समस्या हामीले धेरै परेको छ, जुन मौसमले गर्दाखेरि कतिको हामीले यहाँ समुदायमा चाहिँ एकदमै इफेक्ट भइरहेको छ, समुदायलाई गाह्रो भइरहेको छ. जुन चाहिँ हामीले एउटा समस्या भनेको ओरोदोरो गर्ने बाटोको समस्याहरु छ, जुन चाहिँ त्यो क्लाइमेट चेन्जको कारण जुन चाहिँ गएको वर्षहरुमा केही धेरै 10-15 वर्ष अगाडिमा थिएन, जुन चाहिँ अहिले धेरै भएको छ. सो यो चाहिँ म तपाईहरुलाई भन्न चाहन्छु कि दुर्गम ठाउँमा यदि केही कुराहरुमा तपाईले गर्नुभयो भने धेरै फाइदा हुन्छ है. Okay, sure, you can go. So about the climate.
So namaste everyone, my name is Pasang Norbulama. I work in the remote community of Samagon, northern Nepal, 15 kilometers from the border with Tibet. I want to share with you, I've been working with the Tergar charity for a few years now. I want to share with you the work we've been doing and the challenges and the direct effect of climate change is having on our region. We're situated at the bottom of the 8th highest mountain in the world, which is Mount Manaslu. And we've witnessed a change within the last 15 years, a drastic change in climate and in the melting of the glacier that we have next to our home.
सो त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अब हामीले सबै डाइरेक्ट हामीले चाहिँ उनीहरुसँग समस्या भनेको खानेकुरामा खान ल्याउने समस्या भनेको लोकलमा खानपिन चाहिँ आउनले धेरै गाह्रो पर्छ जुन चाहिँ 10-15 वर्ष अगाडि उनी आफैले उत्पादन गरेर खान्थ्यो भने अहिले चाहिँ बाहिरबाट ल्याउनु पर्ने हुन्छ जुन चाहिँ यदि हामीले खजरमा ल्याउनु पर्यो नि 4-5 दिन लाग्छ जुन चाहिँ हामीले हिनेर गयो भने आफैले बोकेर आयो भने 15 देखि 20 दिन लाग्छ हैन त्यस्तो ठाउँमा चाहिँ क्लाइमेट चेन्जले चाहिँ धेरै इफेक्ट गरेको छ उनीहरुले किन बाटोको द्वारा पहिरोले गर्दा अनि पानीहरु ठुलो पुलहरु भत्काएर लाने त्यो कुराहरु चाहिँ धेरै समस्या चाहिँ भएको छ
So our place is very remote. It takes 5 days to walk from the nearest road. There is no road infrastructure. And even before we had the effects of climate change, it was a challenge. The food security was a challenge. There's only 2 crops growing, potato and barley, 3 months a year, that's it. And we had to import Nepali traditional food is rice and vegetable. All the vegetables had to be imported from down at a high price. So even before climate change happened, that was an issue. And since the last 4 to 5 years, we've seen an increase in landslides, in rains, in erratic patterns of weather, which have basically cut the roads during monsoon time in an unprecedented way. So even people walking up and down the valley have died. It's really been a huge transformation and change because of the climate change.
अनि त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ उनीहरुकोमा जस्तै कोही मान्छे बिरामी भयो कोही चाहिँ यदि इमर्जेन्सी हामीले रेस्क्यु गर्नु पर्यो भने चाहिँ रेस्क्युको लागि टाइम लाग्छ सो त्यसको लागि चाहिँ म हाम्रो जुन नेताहरु हुनुहुन्छ उहाँले चाहिँ हाम्रो लागि सजिलो गरिदिनुस् भन्ने एउटा कुरा यो उठाउन चाहन्छु जुन चाहिँ दुर्गम ठाउँमा यो क्लाइमेटले गर्दा यति गाह्रो छ भने अझै उनीहरुले इजी वे बनाउनुस् भनेर चाहिँ म यो भन्न चाहन्छु दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ हाम्रो के हो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ उनीहरुकोमा कसरी आफ्नै बाहिरको कुराको भन्दा धेरै त्यहाँको लोकल युज गर्नलाई लोकल खानेकुराहरु भयो लोकल नै उत्पादन गराउने जुन चाहिँ उनीहरुलाई सजिलो होस् एउटा उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ आम्दानी गर्ने सोर्स चाहिँ हामीले बनाउन कोसिस गरेका छौं जुन हाम्रो तेगा च्यारिटीले हामीले चाहिँ उनीहरुले त्यही कुरा गर्छौं कि हामी उनीहरु त्यही फोर्स गर्छौं जस्तै हामीले उदाहरणको लागि हामीले ग्रीन हाउस बनाएको छ जुन ग्रीन हाउसले चाहिँ उनीहरुले धेरै कुराहरु बाहिरबाट किन्न नपरोस् उनीहरुको आफ्नै ठाउँमा गाउँ ठाउँमा चाहिँ त्यो हरियो साग सब्जी चाहिँ त्यही उत्पादन गरेर के खानेकुराहरु चाहिँ पाओस् भन्ने गरिरहेको छ
So one of the work we did for Terga Charity, the first and foremost problem was food security and nutrition security. So we developed a project of solar passive greenhouses, which are stone wall, cold climate greenhouse, which were made with local stone, local mud plaster, which enabled people to grow food and all vegetables locally. So at 3,600 meters altitude, we grew tomato, cucumber, zucchini, you name it. And that was a way to increase the community's own resilience and self-reliance, that we didn't have to bring things from outside, and that people could grow without paying transportation costs their own food. We are also asking, this conference is about private sector and private sector involvement. We are also maybe trying to extend this message to local government. Our region is a restricted area at the border with Tibet, China, and it takes 4 days to have the authorization of a rescue helicopter because it has to go through all the home ministry. So people die because the remoteness, because of it's too difficult to get these permits. So one of our first plea is to help us get more easy access and support, and the government to support us in having more easy access.
अनि अर्को कुरा भनेको हाम्रो चाहिँ जसरी भए पनि एउटा समुदायलाई एउटा हामीले चाहिँ उनीहरुलाई तालिम गराएर किनभने धेरै जना चाहिँ हाम्रो जुन ठाउँमा हामी काम गरिरहेको छौं त्यो ठाउँमा चाहिँ धेरै जना हाम्रो केरा मान्छेहरु चाहिँ बाहिर जाने केटी मान्छे त्यहाँको बस्ने तर उनीहरुले किनभने पढे लेखेको छैन त्यसलाई गाह्रो भइरहेको छ सो हाम्रो एम भनेको हामीले चाहिँ जो जति जना छ त्यही राख्ने उनीहरुले त्यही गाउँमा अनि क्लाइमेट चेन्जको लागि अनि त्यसपछि यहाँको खानेकुराहरु उनी आफैले के उत्पादन गर्न सकोस् भनेर चाहिँ हामीले त्यो कुराहरुमा हामीले जोड दिइरहेको छौं किनभने हाम्रो नेपालीमा कस्तो छ भने हामी अलिकति कमाउँछौं हामी बाहिर जान्छौं हामी अलिकति सिक्छौँ हामी बाहिर जान्छौँ तर हामी त्यहीँ बसेर म मेरो इन्भाइरोमेन्टको लागि म के गर्छु मेरो वातावरण म बढाउँछु मेरो यही समुदायलाई म के शिक्षा दिन्छु के काम गर्छु भन्ने चाहिँ एकदमै कम छ किन भन्दाखेरि हामी यही समस्याहरू चाहिँ धेरै छ किनकि यो मौसम परिवर्तनको कारणले चाहिँ धेरै कुराहरू चाहिँ समस्याहरू चाहिँ व्यवहार परेको कारणले धेरैजना बाहिर गइरहेको छ सो हामीले चाहिँ के फोर्स गरिरहेको छौँ भने हामी चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई यहीँ राख्ने उनीहरूले त्यही ठाउँमा काम दिने उनीहरूले त्यसलाई एउटा जोड दिइसकेपछि उनीहरूले चाहिँ म चाहिँ अब बस्छु है म चाहिँ उनीहरूले जस्तै जति पनि हाम्रो चाहिँ लोकल युज गर्ने छ जस्तै हाम्रो ग्रिन हाउसमा सबै जे कुरा छ लोकल युज गर्ने हैन सोलर भयो जे भने हामीले चाहिँ लोकल गरेर चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई हामी राख्ने कोसिस गरिरहेको छौँ
So our main aim right now is to through the project to foster resilience, self-reliance, and we are saying in Buddhism the concept is interdependence. So interdependence is that everything has to work together, a network to collaborate. And that means the people have to be relying on the nature, respect the nature, not kill the animals, social harmony, economic prosperity, cultural preservation. We are trying to foster that in the greenhouse project that we did so that people can grow on their site, on their own, the agriculture. But we are also trying to foster that by creating local income opportunities. We've created a value chain project of a rosehip, wild rosehip, which grows in the village, and which we as an organization sent to Canada to a luxury tea company called Tea Leaves. And they make a luxury tea, which 100% of the profits go to the local women. In a nutshell, what we're trying to come at is to make projects which have different function, social, economical, environmental, women empowerment, that work together in an interdependent manner and that help our people stay in the village. What's really strong, 18% of the Nepali adult male population is outside the country, working in places like Dubai, like Qatar, France, illegally in Chinese restaurants. We want to help our people stay connected and work within their community, not have to go to migrate outside in search of better economic opportunity. This is fundamental for our way of life, our culture, and our livelihoods.
सो म तपाईँहरूले के भन्न चाहन्छु भने हाम्रो यो ठाउँमा पनि हामीले जे पनि कुराहरू हामी गरिरहेको छौँ त्यो चाहिँ त्यहाँको समस्या भइरहेको जुन समस्याको कारण चाहिँ हामीले जस्तै कतिजना पैसा तिरिरहेको छ हाम्रो कार्बनको लागि म पैसा तिर्छु हामी यो गर्छौँ हामी त्यो गर्छौँ भने तर हामीले चाहिँ प्राय हामीले चाहिँ सिटीतिर हेर्छौँ हामी जुन चाहिँ जहाँ चाहिँ धेरै फेसिलिटिज भएको हैन यदि हामीले चाहिँ हामीलाई जे सोर्स धेरै आउँछ हामी त्यसलाई मात्रै हेर्छौँ तर म चाहिँ के भन्न चाहन्छु भने यदि हामीले हाम्रो क्लाइमेट चेन्जलाई राम्रो बनाउन चाहन्छौँ भने चाहिँ हामीले त्यो ठाउँहरूलाई दिमागमा राखिकन अनि हामीले यो कामहरू चाहिँ गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ किनभने हामी एउटा बुद्धिजीवी व्यक्तिहरूलाई चाहिँ हामी यहाँ बसेको कारण हामी के सोच्छ भने हाम्रो वातावरणलाई राम्रो बनाउनलाई हामी सोचिरहेको छौँ भने हाम्रो चाहिँ के सोच हुन्छ भने म चाहिँ सिटीमा मात्रै हेर्छु सिटीको लागि राम्रो बनाउँछु भनेर सोध्छौँ हैन तर म चाहिँ के चाहन्छु भने तपाईँ हाम्रो बुद्धिजीवी भएको कारणले चाहिँ यो दुर्गम ठाउँमा चाहिँ कसरी परिवर्तन हुन्छ किनभने परिवर्तन हुन्छ एकदम राम्रो हो तर हामीले चाहिँ कस्तो भने एक ठाउँमा मात्रै हेर्छौँ अर्को ठाउँमा हामी हेर्दैनौँ अर्को ठाउँमा कतिको समस्या भइरहेछ भनेर हामी त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ तपाईँहरूलाई भन्न चाहन्छु
So as a closing remark, we want to, obviously we're very passionate about our work, but we believe the problems we're experiencing in Samagon is a mirror for the rest of the world. Regarding climate change, the glaciers are melting. Within 15 years, water will be scarce. Food security in agriculture is becoming very difficult, and people's livelihoods and eating is also at risk. People migrating, huge out-migration from the village. We believe the solutions which are local, resilient-based, and nature-based can be an example, or at least can give inspiration to other places in the world. When these problems happen within now, in France or in Germany, there might not be as much critical problem as we have in our place of the Himalaya. But we believe this can help people to implement at the local level, together with communities like us, something which can be beneficial and give a model of development which is not based on more growth, but developing for the whole of the community in a kind of equal way, and which is not extracting the resources or destroying the nature, but in our indigenous local community mindset, in harmony, whether it's with humans, with animals, with plants and nature. So we beg and we urge you, climate sector investment, to, if you want to help us or if you want to support our kinds of solution, as a mirror for the rest of the world or as a showcase for the rest of the world, and local government who are outside, who unfortunately, as it's very often the case in every country in the world, see only the capital city, but don't come here because it's 5 days of walk, because it's very, very far. Please come and see us. Please come and experience the realities on the ground. Pay attention to the mountain people, to our indigenous culture, and to our mindset and way of thinking at the table. Thank you very much.
One last thing. म अन्तिममा के भन्न चाहन्छु भने हामीले अब काम गर्ने बेला म भोलि गर्छु, म 1 वर्षपछि गर्छु, म 2 वर्षपछि गर्छु भन्ने कुरा छैन। हाम्रो काम अहिले सुरु गर्नुपर्छ, किनभने अहिले चाहिँ हामीले कति भन्दा म कार्बनलाई पैसा तिर्छु भनिसकेको छ, तर पैसा त तिरेको छ, ठिक छ। फ्याक्ट्री आज बनाउनु हुन्छ, भोलि बनाउनु हुन्छ, आज 10 बनाउनु हुन्छ, 1 वर्षपछि 5 10 र 100 वटा बनाउनु हुन्छ, तर समस्या भनेको सुरु भइसकेको छ। हामीले कसरी आफूले परिवर्तन गराउँछौं त? त्यही भएर लेख्ने कुरा लेखिसकेको छ हैन। अब भनेको लेखेर त्यो एउटामा डायरीमा लेखेर म राख्छु अथवा मैले सही गरेर राख्छु भन्ने कुरा होइन। अब चाहिँ पालो भनेको काम गर्ने पालो हो। सो म तपाईलाई यही भन्न चाहन्छु कि अब चाहिँ काम गर्ने बेला आइसकेको छ, जुन चाहिँ फ्याक्ट्रीहरु भन्दा पनि हामीले हरियो बनाउने कुरामा चाहिँ हामीले जोड दिनुपर्छ। थ्यांक यू।
So, and our last message, we want and we urge the leaders here at COP to have a practical mindset and to sit down at a table and start making a list. How much carbon is being produced now? How much will be produced in the future? In our region of the world, people are in developing country, but everyone wants a car. Everyone wants has a growth mindset. Everyone wants material facility. What does that mean now? What does that mean in 10 days, in 10 years, in 50 years? And we urge people to start thinking, get around the table and start noting down in a practical way, what is it, how much carbon is going to be produced and how can we reduce that so that we don't consume all the planet's resources, and also we manage to tackle this emergency issue, which is climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm very pleased that we started this side event with such powerful and inspiring words on local actions, on how even at the most local level where the communities are vulnerable, they really take strong actions, that there is possibility for partnership with private sector and to look at how we can scale up these kind of initiatives. So with this, I will start the panel discussion. So we'll call to the podium our distinguished speakers. So we have Ahmed Yusuf Ahmed, from the Director General from the Ministry of Environment of Somalia. Her Excellency Chan Palun from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries of Cambodia, as well as Aziz Diedou, who works for the Banque Agricole in Senegal, and Kisa Ogada from Producers Trust. And thank you very much, especially Mr. Ahmed and Mrs. Chan Palun on this very busy day for the negotiations. So thank you very much for making time to be with us. I will start immediately with a question for Her Excellency Chan Palun. Cambodia has put in place a really strong framework on climate change, with a climate change secretariat as well in the different ministries. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how your ministry is working with industry, value chains actors, putting a dialogue to work with the private sector, and if you're thinking of regulatory, legislative, fiscal measures that can try and help promote private sector engagement and investments in agriculture in your country. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Thank you, Ms. Chairman. I think that on behalf of Royal Government of Cambodia, especially for the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fishery, I would like to say that that MAF, maybe acronym just called MAF Cambodia, so that we promote support the partnership of between private sector, donor and smallholder, because you see, like if you think about that. Why we concern about we consideration of smallholder, because you see, like if you think about the farm site in Cambodia, like a lot of small farm site around 1 hectare per household. In this, I think that we need to work very hard with smallholder, so that how to make this workflow. This we want to resolve this issue for registration process. You see, like we should be work by support labor shortage and technical support, because right now, like in Cambodia, we have a competition with other sector, like as industrial sector and or tourist sector. So that's now the labor is low, get lower and lower, because you see, like and the cost of the labor is higher. And for the streamline workflow result is issue, MAF aim to create a conducive of environment for the partnership and can enhance the resilient smallholder and facilitate adopt of sustainable agriculture practice. That means we want to collaborate for enable to share the knowledge and the resource contribution over effectiveness of the climate change adaptation and overall adaptation program in addressing climate change impact in Cambodia. And I think that we consider a lot, because you see right now in Cambodia we have very big effect of for the flood and drought. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And also a reminder that it's not, private sector is not only about big enterprises and multinational companies, but it's also really about smallholder farmers and the support that they require. And this is also about private sector development, working at that level. I'll now turn to Mr. Ahmed. If you could tell us a little bit about why and how Somalia is engaging in the SNAP process, the part that agriculture plays in it, and what you managed to, why you got this report, this request for support from Scala on the analysis of 3 value chains in your country, and what you think this could really contribute to your adaptation action.
Thank you so much, and I am pleased to be part for this panel discussion, which is titled Scaling Up Climate Action Through Private Sector Engagement. I'm very happy also to come NDC partnership, where Somalia and NDC partnership is doing a lot of work in terms of NDC development and NDC refishing and so on and so on. So I am, first of all, happy to join you. After that, if I go to that question, Somalia is a country which is impacted by climate change, is really very huge. It's one of the most vulnerable countries in Africa. And, you know, climate change happens and takes place. So the difference is how you are prepared. What do you have? How is the governance is there? So in that regard, Somalia, as you may be aware, that in 1991, the central government of Somalia was collapsed. From that day up to just some years before, there was no strong institutions. We were functioning. But the good thing is that since 2004, up to now, we have the central government which responds to those issues. After that, we started, you know, drafting and working and doing a lot of partnership and collaboration with partners on these climate changes. So why we are sensitive is because that our communities are depending on 2 sectors which are more climate sensitive, which is the first one is it's the livestock sector, and the second one is the farming and agricultural activities. But as you are aware, both those two sectors, they need a lot of water. They need many things regarding on climatic issues. For example, they need maybe livestock wanted a pasture, while livestock wanted a fertile land. Agriculture, you need to get a fertile land, which can, you get some strong and well nutrition crops and so on and so on. So in that regard, the government of Somalia developed a national determinant contribution NDC. We more focus on adaptation, food security, water, and energy rather than mitigation, because Somalia does not release greenhouse gas emission. If you go and see it statistically, and in our missions, you will see that there is it is insignificant. So rather we support on mitigation. So while we're doing a lot of efforts engaging international partners, international organizations, climate finance organizations, we agreed to develop a project through Green Climate Fund, which is aimed to supporting the agropastoralism communities in order to get water, in order to get the pasture, and in order to get a fertile land that they can do crop activities. Through that project, which we submitted to Green Climate Fund, it came our intention that if we also get an access to this support, which is Scala, it will be easy, because it's important, to incorporate or include private sector teams in all national issues. So we requested UNDP, I think the headquarters, to support us also on that project that we submitted, also to add on that support on private sector engagement. And successfully we managed to be part of for the countries that is going to implement on a Scala program. So right now, we are doing some work on Scala. We just did a study in some regions within our country, Somalia, and we concluded the report, and soon will be shared. And I think, thank you, Nabil, since he's in here, he's one of the UNDP national staff that working with us on that matter. So the agriculture, it's big thing. The food thing, it's big thing according to our NDC, and we believe that it will open a lot of other initiatives regarding on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Somalia is a country we support with this value chain analysis, because the evidence base is really key if you want to make the case, the business case for investment. Thank you very much. Mr. Arman might have to leave soon, so feel free if you need to leave us. Thank you very much. But you can say, of course. But so then I will turn to Mr. Abdulaziz Diedou. He works for the Banque Agricole, the Agricultural Bank of Senegal, which is a private bank that is accredited to the GCF. I would like to hear more about your experience and how your bank got accredited to the GCF, what challenges the banking sector faces in climate action, and in how you play a role in farmers' access to finance, as well as the measures that you think are necessary to lower the cost of capital and de-risk climate investments, and in particular maybe what you would need from a program like Scala, because we've been trying to collaborate on and provide you with some support.
Thank you very much. As the only French speaker, I will be very happy if they allow me to do my speech in French. But anyway, this is, I think, the first barrier for the French country. We need to do many effort to speak English. So working with the partner maybe can be sometimes difficult. But anyway, we need to adapted our business model on that. As an agriculture bank, we are also accredited to Green Climate Fund, as you mentioned, and this is to put our ambition due to our financing activity to be the first bank in Senegal building and implementing program on green financing. So for that, the main challenge for the bank is to work to transform challenges and the constraints linked to climate issue has an opportunity, like to build a very strong, resilient system and anticipate present and future risk. So how we deal with that is de-risking really the agriculture financing. Firstly is to work and to put in place a very strong approach for evaluation and managing climate risks due to our agriculture financing. Because as you may know, many of the commercial bank, their more focus is just to manage other risks, but climate risks is now a new, a new risk that they need also to involve on their risk management system. This is the first challenge. And also to promote some adaptive finance and services, maybe integrating agriculture insurance or guarantees with our loan products. This is also will help the commercial bank to better manage the risk and move to de-risking for agriculture sector. We are working also as a Green Climate Fund entity to develop a green portfolio, because we need to work to develop many projects on adaptation and mitigation, and this will allow us this will facilitate really access on concessional loans, concessional financing. So we can address more financing on adaptation and mitigation project. But the challenges need to be integrated in a clear approach into risk governance system, allowing a good understanding of, as I mentioned, climate risks, maybe putting in place some instruments, some tools to evaluate and manage the risk. The other thing is also we need to develop a very strong partnership. That's why we start discussion with Scala project, because as a bank, we are not implementing directly the project at the field. So to better have some data relating to climate impact, or what really our financing has really impacting the small farmers, we need to monitor data. And to do this work, we need to work with some maybe company or some project or program, because they have developed some systems, some tools who will allow the bank to really evaluate what is the impact of this financing on the agriculture, on the small farmers level. What measure can we tell to reduce the cost of capital, as you mentioned, is to develop an integrated approach to assessing and managing the climate risks. Managing climate risk, having a good understanding on what really the climate factor impact on our financing is one of our challenges. So we put in place environmental and social management system. We are working to to build our capacities on how really we can integrate some green facility on our product, and how also we can integrate, as I mentioned, insurance, agriculture insurance, or some facilities related to guarantees, to better allow the small farmers to access to credit. Because in our country, the credit rate is very, very expensive, because bank, they didn't have really some dedicated resources linked to climate change issue to finance agriculture system. The next is, as I mentioned, with GCF, we are working to develop a very big program linked to the development of our green project portfolio. This allows us to get to their funds. We start also the accreditation with adaptation fund. This is also will allow us to better have a good, roadmap, and work with many programs, many projects to better allow to better address the financing on the agriculture sector. Yeah, this is what I can share with you for the
Merci
first
beaucoup.
introduction. Merci.
Thank you.
Il fallait me laisser parler.
Désolée pour l'anglais. Thank you very much. Keith, I'll turn to you. I have two questions. One is very simple. With everything you've heard from Nepal, from Cambodia, from the Banque Agricole, how can you help? What is the work that your company is doing to help? And the other thing is as well, if you can elaborate a little bit on the needs that the enterprises that you work with express in terms of public support, government support, and as well as how we can strengthen that public-private collaboration. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Julie and Honorable Minister. It's great to be with you and my banking friends as well. I think for context first, it'd be great, by show of hands, who here works in the private sector? And Vero works in my company, so no, this is very good. Of course, of course. So I'm CEO of a company called Producers Trust. We're a social enterprise. And we work with farmers, mostly through aggregated networks, both nonprofit and for-profit. And we work to help to digitize farmer content, their stories, information, what they're growing, where they're from, and help to connect to markets. So connect their outputs to markets. And so the first, from everything I've heard, how can I help? Well, to me, I always feel like I'm being helped to be in service to these types of folks in these communities. Because the challenges that are being faced right now on the ground, especially smallholder farmer communities, which is what I'm hearing here, are immense. And so what we're seeing working in different areas and geographies in the global south is around market-driven programs, meaning understanding who is going to buy the products being grown and how do we get it there. And then going back and starting to create integrated solutions for how to build soil health, first and foremost, how to get the necessary infrastructure in order to aggregate and get the tools to the farmers, and then how to build the capacity at the source so farmers can make more money. When we go and speak to farming communities, the first thing we usually hear is we want to be more profitable. Because ultimately farmers are business people. And their livelihood in most communities depends on selling a product. And so our goal is to see how do farmers in communities like Cambodia or Senegal continue to be farmers, and that this becomes a job that is both prestigious and profitable. And we think that the connection between public and private sector is one of the greatest tools we have to be successful. And I'll give a couple examples. And actually, a dear friend and someone we work with, Oluwanjo from Togo, who is in the private sector. And in this example, Olo has been able to help create a global market using ancient traditions of collecting and processing the shea seed and building a vertical supply chain model, vertical meaning instead of going to a commodity trader who pays low prices, he's created a vertically integrated business where the product gets processed, exported, and sold, and it returns more money back to the source. Now, what we're exploring is how do we take it to the next level? Because these collectors oftentimes also grow food at their gardens or in their farms where they live, small scale. So what we're looking at is how do we leverage the infrastructure for collecting and processing shea to become infrastructure for getting capacity building, biological inputs, and post-harvest collection, storage, processing of the products at the farm level. So if they're growing root crops like cassava or banana or vegetables or fruits, not only do they have the shea to sell, the seed for skincare and hair care and cocoa supply chain, but now they have other fruits and vegetables that can be aggregated as well and sold to both local, regional, and national markets. And what we're learning is that there's a really interesting connection between opening up a global supply chain. In Cambodia, there's a lot of export products, as well as Senegal. And what we can do to connect these national and export products, which de-risk private sector investment. Because when a bank or an investor looks at a supply chain, the first question they're going to ask is, who's the buyer? And at what price? And how confident are you that they're going to buy it at that price? And if your only market is the local village, you're not going to give a lot of confidence to the bankers and investors to build and finance an infrastructure program. So, while we want to create, I say we because I'm listening to the communities, we want to create food security locally. What's going to drive the infrastructure to support that food security locally is a global supply chain. And we're learning every day just how connected the local and global is. And in the cases of Senegal and West Africa, we've been working on a project around fonio grains. And fonio is a local indigenous grain. It's drought tolerant. It's been grown there for centuries successfully. However, there's a lot of loss in processing fonio because it's such a small grain. And yet, Carlsberg, the beer company, is now wanting to buy fonio for their beer into Europe and tell a great story of impact. Now, the infrastructure that's going to be financed to commercially process fonio, thereby returning a much higher percentage of harvest, is being driven by a beer company in Europe. But because of this processing, the beer company in Europe has a product that they'll pay for, returning more money. But because of the industrial processing, there's actually going to be more fonio grain left in the community. So to summarize, I think what we need is just more case studies. We need to show more models that work, where our banking friends can say, hey, this is a good investment, let's invest more in this, and where the local communities say, we've achieved better food security, more resilience, and farmers have more profits.
Thank you very much. The key message is that farmers, like big enterprises, want to make money. So what we need to what we need to do is support that growth in a sense, but make it more resilient and make sure that we make a climate case that is also profitable. And that's what we're trying to work on under Scala, and as well as this public and private collaboration, of course. I will now open the floor to people in the room if you have questions to our very interesting panelists that have very different viewpoints. So it's, please. Do you have questions to each other, maybe? Yeah. To start with.
Because as a commercial bank, I hear my friend talking about the fonio valuation is a very interesting sector. We finance some SMEs, some agriculture farming in Kedugu, Tamba, Kunda, and maybe you know the region. They are working on the fonio sector. But as you mentioned, they do a very hard job. But at the end, how to say, le retour sur investissement, I don't know how to say it.
The return on investment.
Yes, they didn't have really, they didn't see the real benefit, because I am an agriculture engineer. I'm not a bank specialist. I'm an agriculture engineer, and I know how to produce fonio is very difficult during the production to the processing. This is very hard work. So what we are working now with the organization is to develop some partnership because they need to access to market. But the problem is that the production is here, but they cannot have some strong market to buy, to sell the products. And for the bank is doing business. If they see that clearly they cannot do a link between the small farmers to market, a clear market, the bank is not very interesting to go on very high financing for them. So that's why we very happy to hear what you are saying, and I mark you my availability to have a discussion, maybe working, I don't know, with Scala program or FAO to see how we can build a program on this sector and maybe put in place, how to say, a very project and help those farmers to get access to funds and to link them to markets. This is also so what you can do with La Banque Agricole on that. That's my question.
Yeah, thank you. So I actually spoke to a colleague of yours in Kenya a few weeks ago, and we'd love to work together. And the opportunities are immense. And I think to your question of what can the public sector do, well, it turns out the public sector and the UN World Food Program, they also buy a lot of products, a lot of food, and a lot of it is imported. So in addition to private sector that can drive confidence in the supply chain and help to make sure that these farmers who do this really difficult and challenging work have a profit at the end of the season, that also the public sector can get involved guaranteeing purchasing, that the government for schools, hospitals, police, military, World Food Program donations, these are all great market opportunities. These are all transactions. And I think so many of these transactions are being lost to commodity traders and being lost to importers and distributors when this money can go back to farmers and local communities and de-risk investment into the aggregation infrastructure.
Thank you very much. Would you have any questions to our colleagues from the private sector from your perspective as Minister of Agriculture?
I think that from the public sector that in Cambodia case, we support to the private sector, especially for the, you see like one like example, like I think that agricultural cooperatives, so that we establish with, you see like as a model to make as you see like the model, and then now we make innovation for the modern of agricultural cooperative. So in this, I think that for Cambodia, we support them how to establish, and we train them how to do the business. In fact, for the agricultural cooperative, they are so weak, so that we have like to support them for management and also in infrastructure. And one thing like we also like support the technology. You see, and financing, I think that we provide in basically it a small fund, because you see like to support at the beginning, and later on you see like the cooperative itself, they can grow for themselves how to create their benefit. And I think that this we just make example for the rice seed cooperative and the rice mill cooperative. It's very different. So that the rice seed cooperative, they produce rice, and they sell to the smallholder, so that the smallholder they can produce. We just call like rice, good rice. So that good rice just they make the contract farming with the rice mill, so that the rice mill they can get the rice, so that they can produce make the good rice. So that this is our work, so that the rice miller they have two type for the organic rice, and just something that another one it's a GAP rice or the SRP rice. And this I think that for exporting. And then I think that another case now for the government they provide support to the horticulture cooperative example, like they produce vegetables, so that the vegetable can make and then can send to the market. So the market, you see, like you see they have a separate products, like the special product go to the supermarket, and you see like typical product go to the small market. And this we try to do like the farmer can have their own QR code. So that QR code then in the market, they like the consumer can scan and can see that who produced the product. So this our way. And another, you see like the private sector, they try to contact to work with the smallholder, so that they bought all the product, and then they can make the product, just call that product in the quality of the product they discard of this. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We need to wrap up, so I will soon give the floor to my colleague Julia. We heard a lot of interesting things. One is that there are already case studies, but we need to have more of them, and also we really need to scale up. The governments have a key role in driving confidence. That was a word we heard a lot in terms of institutional regulatory measures, but also guaranteeing purchasing, promoting technology, research and development, also promoting the transparency and traceability of some of the value chains. And of course, we also heard a lot about partnerships. So we hope this is the start of more collaboration and more partnerships. Julia, sorry for the limited time left. But
Thank you so much. So I'm Julia Wolf, and I work for the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, and we are co-implementing the project with UNDP. So let me just maybe, I know I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to quickly try to place this really important side event in today's day, because today was the day we've been waiting for, because it was the UAE Presidency Day on agriculture, food, and water. Right? And it started actually very nicely with farmers. So this morning was a whole farmers in the Waha theater, and we all agreed in the room that the farmer and the local producer need to be in the driver's seat. So there we are. So I think that's a very key message. And why was this day today? Because it was actually to talk about this kind of very successful outcome of the COP28 Leaders Declaration. No? So the Leaders Declaration is on agriculture, resilient food systems, and climate action. And they increased it from the first day, 133 countries to 150 countries, signed by the head of governments. At the same time, we have to say the agriculture negotiations failed. No? And I'm sure some of you in the room know about that really well. So we have this like imbalance coming out, and now COP is over, right? So I think what is really, really so great to hear in this side event, and I learned so much, and thanks so much to Nina to set the scene, and to hear from Pasang Lama. Thank you so much. I don't know how to say thank you in your language. From the Honorable Minister Chan, and then also from Abdu and from Keith, in your excellent English, by the way, don't be shy. To really, I mean, this is what you do matters. Not what we speak here is a lot of advocacy. Yes, we need a global framing, but what matters is really the action on the ground. It's the particularity of the rural people, the rural sector, the connection to the urban. And so I'm really, really glad we talk about here. And the other key point I want to make, it's all about finance, or it's a lot about finance. So what I really like about this side event is the framing in terms of looking at inclusive finance, because the figures say basically 1.7% of climate finance going to the agriculture sector reach the local farmer. No? So, and we haven't spoken yet about inclusiveness. No? So if you then have another lens, and I don't have a number for that, but I think it's really, really important, and Keith and Julie, you called on, we need more voices, we need more case studies, and it needs to be really making a case in scale and diversity. And so thanks for taking time and taking time off from your day-to-day lives and being producers in the rural areas to bring the voice here, because there's a high risk that things just keep being superficial. They're not sufficient. I mean, this morning there were like so many alliances, so many pledges. So look at the leaders' declaration. Go back to your government saying you signed that. No? So now we need to talk about local, national, international finance for the agri-food sector, for food security. It has many names. No? So here, sometimes you get the impression everybody is stuck on all these words. No? In the end, what counts is really the support to rural livelihoods, to working on delivering SDG 2, and working in collaboration. And that's what we really love about working with UNDP. It's too complex. We need to really forge partnerships. And so this is the case of 2 agencies working together with a lot of agencies at the national and local level. So it's really working together for the best solutions, and really working on and qualifying what it means from the beneficiary's perspective, what it means to have inclusive investment. And it's also so great to hear from the private sector on your innovative business models. So thanks so much to everybody, and I hope you enjoyed the event. And thanks for the excellent moderation.